This is the exact formula I've used to generate hundreds of millions of dollars for clothing brands. I'm gonna walk you through step by step on how to use it. And yes, this can work for any clothing brand. All right, so number one is S. So this is one over here. This stands for Style Aspirations. The goal here is to increase the dream outcome customers associate with your brands. What is the dream outcome for your customer, potential customer? You need to curate a strong visual identity. Use consistent on-brand imagery that resonates with your target audience, the desired look or lifestyle. So for example, let's say you're an athletic line and you are really focused on running, and these running shorts are specifically going to help you run faster. If you find these or you create these, let me know. I'd like to have them. My whole point is, what is the desired outcome? Well, somebody who has a pair of shorts like this for running, they probably would want to be able to put their phone in there. They'd probably want to be able to put any goo. It just depends on your customer. Some people, if you're going into it, is like maybe who's a little bit more elite, maybe they aren't taking their phone. Maybe they aren't necessarily using or taking other things besides just goo or fuel. And so it wouldn't really matter to them. But you need to know what is that desired outcome that your audience wants. You need to develop lookbooks of what this looks like, social media posts or short video ads that inspire customers to see themselves in the outfits or the settings. If you have that running apparel brand, then obviously outdoors running would be a great approach. Some people like to run on the treadmill. I do not. I actually despise the treadmill, but to each their own. Sometimes you have to do that. My point is, you need to put yourself in those situations, in those settings. But I like to save content that my competitors put out or others that inspire me based off the lifestyle my ideal customer is trying to live. All right, so these are some examples of hat brands, different ideas that you could come up with and curate, come up with your own ideas. We've got some over here. I've got a little bit of a video. If you want the access to this, just comment the word foreplay. I'll send it over to you. Later in this video, I'm also gonna share with you how you can use this with a new unlock inside of Meta Ads to make it seem like your brand is absolutely everywhere. In addition to the style aspirations, I need you to highlight real transformations, right? So you got the before and then the after, okay? This is extremely important in the style aspirations. Show the before, after, styling photos. For example, someone in a generic outfit versus wearing your brand or styling it. Feature customer stories that illustrate how your clothing helped them feel more confident, professional, trendy. Again, you have to put yourself into the situation of what your audience would be asking themselves. Another thing for the style aspiration is lifestyle content and social proof. Okay, we're gonna talk about that later on how you can make it look like you have social proof everywhere, even if you're brand new. But you gotta collaborate with influencers, brand ambassadors who embody the style of your audience craves. So I was talking to this brand on Saturday. They're an athletic line. They have a completely new approach, and I promise I don't only work with athletic lines, but they have a completely new approach and new material that's probably about 3 to 4 years old. So most of the information is actually new. Most customers and consumers believe they're getting an organic product. They believe they're getting a high quality product, but this brand actually is doing something a little bit different. They have influencers who basically followed a script, pulled out their phone and were saying like, this is the best thing ever, blah, 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 you've got to wear it. And it looked like everyone else, which in 2019, 2020, that would have worked. It would have been awesome. But today, the only one who's actually working for them, like 90% of their sales, is one person, not really an influencer. It's got 15, 20,000 followers, so not a ton. And what's working for them is that she's just incorporating it into her lifestyle. It just happens to be that she's somebody who already works out. She already is in the health and wellness and fitness space, and so it's all natural versus people with a large amount of followers who happen to create a piece of content and look kind of like the audience. It's not working that way anymore. You've got to focus in on exactly who your customer is. I would encourage UGC, so user-generated content, featuring customers in your apparel. I'm not saying that it cannot be those types of people, but the ones that matter the most are exactly like replica. If you were going to draw the perfect customer for you, those are the ones that I want creating UGC, because I want to use that and create this kind of aspirational tribe, if you will, of like people who look like me and act like me and want this type of product. So our ambassador funnel is powerful because you get free content, acquire the customer, and turn that person into someone who will then get more customers for you. It's a win-win-win. So let me draw this actually for you real quickly, because some people may not know what this looks like. So you would use this as an ad, okay? And you basically say, hey, I'm looking for ambassadors. Assume this says ambassadors, right? So you run an ad, Okay, you have the people fill out a form. You basically have them check yes, that they will buy a product on discount, right? So maybe they get 20% off, and then they also get an affiliate link. So this person is somebody who saw an ad with your product, said, hey, we're looking for ambassadors, influencers, part of the community, part of the tribe. They join that list. You ask them a set of questions. As long as they say they will invest in the brand, they fit your demographic, they're gonna share their Instagram, their TikTok, etc. You're going to approve them. Once they're approved, you send them a code, you give them an affiliate link. They're going to post content, they're going to buy a product, and then they are going to put out an affiliate link and create content for you to acquire new customers. Top line level of what the ambassador funnel looks like, just so you know. The last piece for the style part of things is the brand story and values. If your style identity is tied to sustainability, minimalism, or streetwear culture, double down on that in your messaging. Let your brand story reflect aspirational lifestyle, be it eco-conscious, fashionistas, high-end athleisure, etc. You've got to really focus in on who is your customer and what do they care about. Does your customer go to Starbucks, or are they the person who will brew their own coffee at home and have their own espresso machine? You know the difference. Are they the people who are waking and hitting their alarm at 4:50 in the morning to go out to work out? Or are they the person that hits the snooze button 12 times and barely makes it to work on time? Neither person is inherently good or bad. You just need to know who your customer is and what they're doing. Are they going to shop at Walmart? Do they shop at Target? Maybe they love Whole Foods. Maybe they love Sprouts. Maybe they love, what was it in Lawrence? I went to school up at KU. It's called Natural Grocers. You got to figure out where your customer is going to buy. And honestly, if they got a bigger family, maybe it's Costco. The most common thing I say to brand owners who just start out at that like 0 to 5K per month is the absolute hardest stage in business. I tell this to people, I'm like, look, if you can get past 0 to 5K, you can grow. 5 to 10K, it's a little easier. 10 to 20K a little easier, and then going from 20 to 100K per month is even easier than going from 0 to 5. If you build trust, if you showcase quality, then you have a chance. Let me show you exactly how to do that, how to build that trust. But first I want to say a quick hey, howdy, and hello. So my name is Aaron. I've been scaling clothing brands for the last decade. If you don't want to miss out on how to grow your clothing brand, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. And a real quick PS, if you do this in the next 3 seconds, I'll share with you a book that will change your mindset. It's called Winning by Tim Grover. Go check it out. The second part of this equation is QF. So this is confidence in quality and fit. So how confident are you in the quality and fit? The goal here is to convince buyers they'll truly get the result they want. Well-made clothes that fit perfectly. Detailed product descriptions and guides include material breakdowns, measurements, size charts, and even model stats. I think this is very important. Is this person 6 foot or are they 5'9"? Are they 180 or are they 170? Now, shout out to my people overseas, right? So let's just say here 2 meters or 40 kilograms. Hopefully I said that right. It's really important to put that. I think that at this point, that's kind of the bare standard. If you're not doing it, you really got to. You got to offer fit finders or quizzes to help customers pick the right size and cut. For example, this is a drop shoulder. There's a bigger collar here. Like, there's so many details. If this is your first time buying or selling clothes, if this is your first time like making your own clothes, those types of things do matter. High quality photography and videos. The more photos that you have, more sales, right? So it's like more photos, lifestyle, detailed shot, videos, close-ups, like all of those things, more of them will generate more sales. Use multiple angles. Like I said, close-ups, fabric texture, videos of the garment in motion, really like that, especially again, if you're going back to like the running, you want to be able to like see it. If this is like again, an oversized shirt, can you like, where's it at? I like the unboxing or like trying on clips that show the piece of drape or like the stretch. Like for example, this is pretty stretchy. It's kind of a heavier weight shirt. I would consider it like more streetwear. Transparent about the reviews and testimonials. Literally got to be straight up here. If you have nothing but 5 stars, that's awesome. Most people don't. I mean, if you got 10 reviews and they're all 5 stars, then great, awesome. But if you got 3,000 reviews, 4.6, you're solid. Encourage the customers to post feedback with pictures. We get a lot of this where at the bottom of the website, people are posting pictures of them wearing it or like with their spouse We've got a great brand who really focuses on animals and mostly dogs. And it's like people are taking pictures of their dogs wearing the shirts. Awesome. Pin the most helpful reviews on your product page. Super important. Show the star ratings or an aggregator review widgets. We do use like Judge Me. You can use other ones, but Judge Me is good. I think there's a Looks out there as well. We've used some, but again, Judge Me is kind of our big one. Strong guarantees and return policy. So offer hassle-free returns or free first-time exchanges. You consider those fit guarantees. So like if the item doesn't fit, then they swap sizes at no extra cost. There's also, I have seen this, and maybe we're gonna create a better app that's out there, so who knows. There's also ways with apps to upload a picture of yourself, so you take a selfie or a full body shot to see what the product looks like with you wearing, which is really cool. And last week, I talked to a brand that had a horrible return policy. Basically, like, if you don't like it, sucks for you. But what he did was he added a new size guide and said, if you use this size guide, you can get 30-day free returns. That is leveling up for him specifically. I think everybody should have free returns. But for print on demand, it's almost impossible, right? Trying to return, you're just eating costs on both ends because there you got nowhere to return it to. Just a smart move for most print on demand is to not have free returns, and there's not really much you can do about that. However, this does fix it because most people are just looking at it and they're like, oh, I'm a medium, just get a medium without looking, they buy, and then it's like, dang, I would rather not had the sale because it cost me twice as much to acquire the customer than it did to actually make any money. So really like that. There's some cool apps out there. None that I have used well enough yet that I would recommend, but just go to the Shopify App Store, check them out for yourself. Okay, so that is the numerator, so the top part of this equation. Now we need to get into the science, the part on the bottom. This is the area of opportunity. You want these numbers to be much smaller. So the numerator, we want those numbers to be big. So we go back to the style, aspiration, and then we go to the quality and fit. We want those numbers to be very large, okay? As big as they possibly can. The numbers on the bottom, right? The W we're getting into it is the waiting time. We want the denominator to be so much smaller. This is going to increase our score, which means that we have a higher likelihood for somebody to actually make a purchase. And don't worry, I'm gonna make all this super easy like for you. There's a GPT that you can literally go into it and put in these numbers and put in this information and just have it work everything for you in your business. We'll talk about that later. I will show you on screen. So denominator here, the W. All right, so with waiting time, our goal is to minimize or clarify how long it takes for customers to receive or enjoy your product. The amount of times that people don't put a shipping time or are not clear on when a product will arrive or a window of when it will arrive is crazy. Now you may be watching this and you're like, that is so dumb, I don't care, I'm making millions of dollars per year. Go double check. Go double check. And if you're brand new, like again, this is one of those things you often overlook. You should have, and I hate using the word should, but you should have faster shipping options to provide expedited next day shipping, okay? Partner with local delivery services if feasible, okay? So we're in Allen, Texas, Dallas, Texas, and there are local places that you could do delivery. If feasible, make it work. If you're in a small town, go negotiate. Go figure out what's possible, even if you're small. It doesn't matter, it's worth it. Transparent delivery estimates are crucial. Like I said, if you do not have that, say it will take longer than what it actually will, okay? Now, if it takes 4 days and it's really closer to 8 and you put 6, you're gonna make a lot of people upset. I'd rather tell them, 9 or 10 and they get it sooner and be much happier. It will affect your volume on the front end, but we'll talk a little bit later about the most important number in your business, and it requires you to have people to come back and buy it. Display clear arrival dates at checkout. Send automated delivery updates. Sometimes I get too many delivery updates, and honestly, it's kind of annoying, but I do like it where it's like, look, package is being packed. Now it's being shipped. Now it's leaving the warehouse. Now it's on the way to your house. I'm like, all right, that's fine. But for the packages I really like, and if you're selling clothes, people honestly probably love getting your packages. They'll be fine with the updates. If you have it, make sure that you let them know that if it's available in store or curbside pickup, right? If you have physical locations or a way for them to do it anyway, that's an option. Let customers buy online, then pick up the same day if it's in stock. That's awesome. Great customer service. I see this a lot with a brand called Free People. May have heard of them, kind of big, kind of small, This also adds instant gratification for local buyers. Take care of the people within your sphere. especially you small town boutiques, I'm talking to you. You're always, I say always, most of the time when I talk to small town boutiques, which I'm from a small town in Kansas, so I can say this, all right? If you are in a small town boutique, the goal is that you go online and you just make millions and millions of dollars. I know that's not what you're actually saying. You're saying, I want to build a legacy for my family. I want to be able to pay for dance. I want to be able to play for football. I get that. To build that business, you really need to hit 7 figures per year, even in your small town. And the only way to really do that, unless you have more than 40 or 50,000 people in your town, is to grow online. But if you neglect the people in store and you neglect the people who are local, you are going to sabotage your business from the inside out. It becomes a Trojan horse where it gets on the inside and you're getting attacked from the inside out. Okay, so really focus on that local business and make sure you take care of those customers. All right, our fourth element here is shopping friction. So SF, the goal here is to reduce any hassle, complexity, or uncertainty during the purchase process. Streamline checkout, offer guest checkout, no forced account creation. It's great, you collect the data up front, I get it. That's a lot of steps, okay? Give somebody a guest checkout. Autofill, safe payments. I love Shop Pay, love Apple Pay, love Google Pay. Anybody who's gonna automatic, there's a link, those are all options as well. You got the people who do Klarna and whatever else. I'm not gonna get into the buy now, pay later stuff. It's not that I'm not a fan. Well, I'm not a fan, but it's not that I'm not saying don't do it. But fewer form fields and clear progress indicators. Just let me know where you're at. If you got Shopify, don't worry, you're probably golden. I've seen some people on Square, Squarespace, Wix. These things are not built to sell online. I know you're like, no, Wix is great. That's fine. Let me guess, you're not making $5 million a year. Eventually, you will want to make the step and the move to something like Shopify, okay? If you're using Shopify, much easier. Some of you guys are using Shopify Plus and you should not be. Like, look, if you are not a multi-7-figure business, get off of Shopify Plus. And if you got 5 locations and you're not doing $3 to $4 million per year, get away from the locations. Anyway, I digress here. But you need organized products by category, style, collection, or season. If I go to your website and I see so many of them, and I got home up here, I got products, and then I got this about us, and then I got contact. It's like, who cares? Nobody cares about any of that stuff. When they go to your website, get rid of the home button. We know that the logo is an option to click on there, right? And if you're on mobile, it's not even an option, but if you're on desktop, just show me what's under the product category, right? Are we talking dresses? Are we talking hats? Are we talking shorts? Like, what are they? Just put them across the top. If you don't have more than 8, just put them across the top. So much easier, so many less buttons to click. And even when you got the hamburger menu and you got options to click over here, it's so much easier. So much easier, okay? Do not overcomplicate this. Maintain a search function with filters. Size, color, price. There's some others that are specific to you, but like literally, this is so customers can quickly find what they want. One other thing you've got to have here for the shopping friction, responsive customer support. I like having tools like a chat in the corner. You can be good customer service. We like a tool called Joofy. I have a link for them in the description down below. At one point, we were doing 30 or 40% off, and you may still be able to do that as well. There's also options for it to be free. But Joofy is an AI assistant that will suggest things and help people size. And like, if you're not opening like your chat or answering questions at 3 in the morning, this will do it for you. You gotta have multiple contact methods. So live chat, email, you can put your phone out there. Instagram DMs have become chat support as well, which is awesome because Joofy connects to Instagram DMs and you can answer a lot of these questions. You need quick, helpful responses to sizing, styling questions. Otherwise, people are going to leave. You gotta have easy returns and exchanges. I like this. You do not have to do it, especially if you're just starting out, but like if you've been around for a while, supply a prepaid return label in the package or via email to remove any barriers. That may seem like you're just inviting people to return, which is kind of true, but in most cases, it actually doesn't hurt you. It actually only helps you. Great customer experience almost always makes you more money. Clearly state your returns, time frame, and steps on your site. So many people, they have the about and the contact stuff, but they don't ever have anything about the privacy policy. Some of you guys haven't ran ads yet, and so you haven't been flagged, but like you gotta have a privacy policy. It's just a requirement. I don't know by law or not, but look, I'm no lawyer, but put a privacy policy on there. You gotta have something. Number 5 is price sensitivity. The goal here is to lower the perceived sacrifice of buying or show why your price is justified. Offer tier pricing or payment plans, okay? So you can introduce Afterpay or Klarna, those buy now, pay later options. Again, I don't really like them, but it's an option. So the upfront cost feels lighter. Bundle items in the starter packs, okay? So we've got people who do like, hey, look, we've got 3 hats, buy the starter pack, get a crazy good discount or a crazy offer plus free shipping, and it's like, oh, I'm getting 3 hats. They're all really dope, and it's 75 bucks or 125 instead of $60 each, right? This looks like 180, this is 125. Ooh, I'll take this all day. Make each piece seem more affordable, okay? That's the goal here with bundling them. Highlight the value and the longevity, okay? Durability. Promote the quality of your fabric, stitching, and overall, again, going back to the durability. You can even do like a cost per wear, like these hats. I mean, this got quite a bit of sweat on it, but like the cost per hat wear for this one is like, I'm paying 3 cents per wear for this thing. Messaging can help you justify a higher price point. Emphasize the brand exclusivity or limited runs. Got a brand right now we're working with, it's awesome. They do like, all right, this is number like 500. Even though it seems like a lot, it still seems limited. Promotions, loyalty programs, and you could use limited time offers or first time purchase discounts to nudge hesitant buyers. I like rewarding people with loyalty points or early access to new collections. I also like VIP pricing. Do not do all of these things. You don't have to do all of them. I'm just giving you some ideas. Offer free shipping thresholds, free shipping over orders, right? For the average order value. If your AOV is 50 bucks, which if it's 50 bucks, it needs to be higher. Let's get you to 75. But as soon as it's over a certain threshold, you can offer free shipping to offset that cost. And we do know that the biggest bottleneck for most brands is the shipping. One part that is a little bit harder, but if you are, again, 7-figure brand or more, clear brand differentiation. If your brand aligns with social causes, sustainability, fair trade, spotlight that. Explain how your product outperforms cheaper options in the market, longer lasting, more stylish, ethically made. That's going to give you a higher chance to focus on lowering that price sensitivity number. All right, so now that the research is done and you know your audience better than your competition, it's time to make sure that you have a profitable ad that continues to make money. So I'm gonna walk you through the full funnel that needs to be in place to scale. Okay, and actually, even before we get into that, let me do this. Let me show you what this GPT looks like. So this is the clothing offer equation, all right, or the clothing offer framework. So COE, if you will. What I said was, hey, fill this out for me. I'm not gonna give all the specifics of a brand. I just wanna go into what this looks like. So I tried to choose a running company since we were talking about that earlier in the video. So example brand is called Velocity Run Co. Here's all the target customers, the sales channels. Step 1, score the COE variables 1 to 10. All right, 1 is the best, 10 is the worst. Style aspirations, where are you at? Quality and fit, waiting time, shopping friction, price sensitivity. And you'll have a ranking scale, just so you know you have a number system here so you can put this in objectively for yourself. The whole point for creating this equation was that you could put objective numbers and data to a very subjective experience. Clothing is a subjective experience. Objectively, people are making decisions on your behalf by buying or not buying the products, and this equation gives you the data to make moves in the business based off of what people are giving you. So in this example, our top were 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, waiting time was 5, 5, 4, 10, etc. So it gives me my clothing author equation number is 3. This is a mid-tier offer, not weak, not dominant. Strategic improvements, and that's what it will tell you is like, hey, in these areas, here's the lowest hanging fruit. And what I would ask it is say, hey, based off of these numbers, where is the lowest hanging fruit? Like, what should I do today to make my business better? And it'll say, okay, look, is there anything that you can do for the website where you can add new photos? Is there anything that I can do to add new photos, high quality photos to showcase, what it looks like material wise? Can I update my size guide? So it's giving me all of this information right here so that you can put this information into this system, the clothing offer equation, and output what needs to be done. I would then ask it, all right, for this week, what should I do Monday through Friday so that it actually is bite-sized, okay? And then you can, a week later, run the tests again, or 2 weeks later, or a month later, depending on the volume of your orders, and update the clothing offer equation number so that you can continue to update that data. Hey, but seriously, if you're needing someone to look at your system to scale, you can do that by scheduling a free strategy call with us. Just check out the link in the description down below. The spots are limited, so go do that right now. You don't make money when you sell a house, you make the money when you buy the house. This is the way that you should look at your business as far as most important here. So we have the clothing offer equation. This is kind of some bolt-on that I would put in here with your business as well. So number one, you've got to understand your profit, okay? Most clothing brands need to be between 60 to 80% or more. If you are not, okay, it's gonna be very difficult to scale. If you're print on demand, okay, I get it. Find a way to get that margin up to 60%. It's gonna be very difficult to scale and grow with that. My analogy makes sense here if you're getting what I'm saying, right? If you try to buy a house and think that later it's going to appreciate and make money, you make the money when you buy, right? So on the front end, profit. If you do not make profit on the front end, it's very difficult. Negotiate with a manufacturer, focus on that. The other side of it, lifetime value. This is how much somebody spends with you over the lifetime of the customers. For most of you guys, you can work off in 90 days, okay? Most customers die off after 90 days unless you got a consumer packaged good like watermelon, goodness, like milk or deodorant, where they're gonna buy it over and over again. So what is the lifetime value? And then how can you increase that? So having good profit margins, having a good lifetime value. The next way to do this, that next sales mechanism is retention, keeping people longer. And it's gonna be even more important. This is email and SMS, that sales machine with Jufy I mentioned earlier. I would love to scream this from the rooftops or the mountaintops, however you wanna look at it. The way you win long-term, and if you got this far into the video, I hope that you absolutely take this to heart, is owned data. Why do you think Facebook is free and Instagram is free? It's not free, they have data. Owned data. What is owned data? This is email, this is SMS, so your phone number, this is the name, this is ManyChat. If you don't know about ManyChat, I've got a whole video on that, check out later. But owned data. The more owned data that you have, the better. Do not rely on, and don't get me wrong, do not rely on paid traffic only. You will use it, but the owned data is how you're gonna scale and grow. That's what's going to give you a business that can be sustainable outside of the ebbs and flows of paid ads. Now, I say that to say that the only thing you need now to collect more owned data is traffic. And the best way to do that, ironically, is through Instagram ads. So go watch this video on Instagram ads right here next.